Hello and welcome back to Johnny Talks. In this video, I will be talking about living with Covid-19 in Ireland. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Okay. So this is how I feel about Covid-19 in Ireland right now. This is how I look at Covid-19. This virus is here, has been for almost a year now, and is not going away until there is a vaccine. Look, at the end of the day, people will get infected, and unfortunately, people will die. The numbers will go up and down like a whore's knickers. Pardon my vulgar vocabulary, but that is the reality of the situation. And at the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. Either the government announce a complete lockdown and have everything closed and restrict all social activity, or we live our lives like normal alongside the virus, because either way, Covid-19 is here to stay. I am absolutely sick and tired of the Irish government's half-arsed actions. It makes no sense that a school full of people can be open alongside pubs that serve food, that is. But one person cannot visit a household. In my opinion, which I'm perfectly entitled to, that is bullshit. So, and hello, by the way, to my lovely viewer who has joined the live stream. You're very welcome to Johnny Talks, where I'm talking about living with Covid-19 in Ireland right now. I feel very strongly that the government, the Irish government, because at the end of the day they are the ones who make the final decisions regarding lockdowns and restrictions with Covid-19. I feel that the government shouldn't be prioritising the opening of schools and pubs that serve food or other businesses or premises over household visits. The only thing that the Irish government should be prioritising, that's my lovely voice in the background, just wanted to get my live stream up and running so I can see who's here, how everyone is feeling. The only thing that the Irish government should be prioritising is the eradication of Covid-19. Because at the end of the day, as I pointed out, and as we all know, the only thing that's going to eradicate Covid-19 is a vaccine, which the world and Ireland does not have right now. A mask is not a vaccine. Sanitizers are not a vaccine. Keeping your social distance is not going to vaccinate you against COVID-19. Time is not a vaccine to COVID-19. As I pointed out, the virus has been here for almost a year now in Ireland, and the numbers are only going up. So the only thing the Irish government should be prioritising is eradicating COVID-19. So they shouldn't be prioritising, let's say, the opening of schools and saying it's fine because little Johnny has to get his education, and as long as he wears his mask and washes his hands and keeps a social distance, then everything's going to be okay. But unfortunately, little Johnny can't visit his friend because we're banning household visits. There shouldn't be prioritisation, is my point. The only thing that you should be prioritising is eradicating COVID-19. Lockdowns, wearing masks, washing hands, keeping social distance is not a vaccine. So it appears to me, now I can't speak for anybody else, but it appears to me that the Irish government don't have a clear strategy, an effective strategy on how to combat and eradicate COVID-19. COVID-19 has reached schools across the country. Many cases where schools have had to be closed for a brief period of time, and students had to, students were infected with COVID-19. They had to self-isolate for 14 days. So students have picked up COVID-19 and it's reached schools. The numbers are going through the roof. The numbers of confirmed COVID-19 cases, new COVID-19 infections, have gone through the roof. Yesterday in Ireland there was over 1,000 new cases of COVID-19, and I think there was maybe 3 or 4 deaths. I don't understand how the Irish government can keep schools opened, considering everything I just pointed out there, but see an issue with one person visiting a home. One person. How many people are in a classroom in schools these days? I would guess, I've been in the classroom for a long time, talking at least 15 people in the classroom, at least. And I know they're keeping their social distance, and I know they're washing their hands, and I know they're wearing masks. But why can't that practice, why can't those safety measures be carried over to one person visiting a home? One person who wears a mask, maybe sits across the table from their friend, sits across the room from their friend, washes their hands. Students are in classrooms, and to my knowledge it's only secondary school students who are required to wear masks. So secondary school students start their classes from 9 a.m. to like 4 p.m. That's an entire morning, afternoon and evening. So if the government are okay with students sitting in a room with up to 10 or 15 other people from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m, providing they wear their mask, sanitize their hands and keep a social distance, if the government are okay with that practice, I don't understand how they're not okay with one person visiting a household, providing that person is wearing the mask, sanitizing their hands and keeping the social distance. So again, there seems to be no clear, distinctive,
Everyone
effective...
should use masks.
Hamster! I've got a hamster in the live stream. Well, hamster, welcome to Johnny Talks, where I'm talking about living with Covid-19 in Ireland. Everyone should wear masks. How do you feel? How would you feel about me wearing a mask and visiting my friend for a couple of hours, providing I wore a mask, kept my social distance, sanitized my hands, exactly the same way that students wear a mask, keep the social distance and wash their hands in a classroom? How do you feel about that? So you feel everyone should wear masks. But the problem with that, hamster, is a mask is not a vaccine. A mask is not going to eradicate COVID-19. It's only going to reduce the chances of you being infected by COVID-19, but it's not going to eliminate COVID-19. You see, again, the Irish government should be prioritising, the only thing they should be focusing on is eradicating the virus. Again, they don't have a clear, distinctive strategy for combating COVID-19. And that can be seen in their decision making regarding keeping schools, keeping particularly secondary schools opened, and saying it's okay for students, multiple students, to be in the same room together from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m, providing they wear a mask, sanitize their hands and keep social distance. But then they say it's not okay for somebody, for one person, not 10, 15, one person to visit a household for less than that time that a student spends in secondary school, providing that person wears a mask, washes their hands and keeps social distance. That's not a very clear strategy, is it? Especially when the numbers are going through the roof. The virus is not going away, and as I pointed out, it will not go away, and time will not take it away. Lockdowns will not take it away. Or maybe they will take, maybe a proper lockdown would take it away, but not a half-arsed lockdown where secondary schools and pubs that serve food can remain opened, where multiple people gather in the same building, but one person can't visit a household.
Hear what you're saying.
Thank you. Sometimes I'm conscious of whether my point is communicated well, so thank you, and I appreciate that. Let me know how you feel. How do you feel? I don't know if you're Irish, I don't know if you're living in a hamster cage somewhere, I don't know if you're in Overwatch right now, maybe you're Wrecking Ball, who knows. But just let me know what you think, please, if you want to. Now, sometimes I always exhaust what I actually wanted to talk about. I'm like a bad comedian. I just like waste all my, not waste all my material, but use all my material in like less than 20 minutes, and I'm like, okay. But that's pretty much what I have to say. I mean, I can kind of like go deeper into some of the things I spoke on. But overall, that's pretty much how I feel about living in Ireland with Covid-19 right now. I think the key points, I'll go over the key points on what I said, and I will let people watching, there's 3 people watching right now, and thank you for watching the live stream. It is much appreciated. You're all very welcome to Johnny Talks, and you're all very welcome to give your opinion on COVID-19. Whatever that opinion is, we're all entitled to our opinion at the end of the day. So whatever that opinion is, if you feel
I
it's going
just
to...
think it's safer to use a mask.
And you are correct. It is safer to wear a mask. It is. I 100% agree with that point. I never said I didn't agree with it to begin with, actually, when I make that point. It is safer to wear a mask. How a mask works is the mask covers your mouth and your nose. Okay? So, therefore, the mask reduces the chances of you being infected with COVID-19. But the key point there is it reduces the chances of you getting COVID-19. There's no guarantee that by wearing a mask, you will not pick up COVID-19. And the most important point is a mask is not a vaccine. It's a bit like, well, actually, no, I was going to make an example, but it's not a good example. But the only thing I will say there is, yes, wearing a mask will keep people safe, but it won't eradicate COVID-19 and it won't guarantee your chances of not getting COVID-19. So my key points. Number 1, COVID-19 is here and is here to stay unless a vaccine is developed. And we all have to look at that fact dead in the eye and accept it. I hear people say, oh, next year I'll be able to go to that soccer match. Next year I'll be able to go to that Westlife concert. Next year I'll be able to have that large wedding with my family and friends. Next year, we'll get back to normal. And when I hear people say that, I kind of feel sorry for them. Not mean that in a very sarcastic, angry kind of way, but I genuinely feel sorry for them because time is not going to eradicate COVID-19. Because again, time is not a vaccine. So the virus is here to stay until there's a vaccine. And it's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. It is here to stay until there is a vaccine. So that's the first key point there. I just wanted to delve a little bit deeper into that. Just understand that the vaccine is the only
thing is when Halloween is here, how can we have 2 masks, lol?
Well, I'm sure 1 mask will do. I'm sure a regular Halloween mask will cover your entire face, so you're probably safer wearing a Halloween mask. To be honest with you, I actually want to discuss Halloween there briefly for anyone who may be listening and maybe kind of wondering, like, how will Halloween work? Do you know what I mean? For me as a child, or for, I say me as a child, no, but there's a child watching that's thinking, like, how do I enjoy Halloween? Or if there's a parent listening and they're like wondering how their children are going to enjoy Halloween. Trick-or-treating isn't the end all of Halloween. You know, going from door to door trick-or-treating isn't the only way you can spend Halloween and enjoy Halloween. There's plenty of other ways you can enjoy Halloween. And I mean, from a simple thing as, sitting in the dark room, closing the curtains, turning off the light and watching a horror movie while eating some popcorn, to playing a horror video game, to just like having like some sort of a Halloween like party within your own household, you know, because again, the government have banned household visits, so unfortunately nobody's allowed to visit your home that isn't already in your home. So that's what I will say about Halloween there. But yeah, as far as masks versus Halloween masks are concerned, I think a regular Halloween mask would be more than enough to, to keep yourself safe from COVID-19. Second key point I'd like to focus on. Now again, I made all these points, previously, but as I said, I have nothing else to say, so I want to kind of delve deeper into the key points that I've made. Is the Irish government should only be prioritising eradicating COVID-19, whether that's knuckling down on a vaccine, or whether that's looking at a lockdown in an effective way and seeing it as a complete lockdown where everything everywhere is closed and all social activity is suspended. Obviously, supermarkets so we can get food, and obviously, a short walk around the block to stretch our legs and get some fresh air. Essential things, a bit like the first lockdown we had, where we only left our homes to get our food in the supermarket, to go for a short walk, and that was pretty much it. And students were being educated from their home through Zoom. That's the way it was done. That was a lockdown, and I think if you actually look at the numbers were going down, and it would appear that lockdown actually worked. It was only when the schools started to reopen and airports were open and people were allowed to go to like Spain or whatnot, and people got back to quote unquote normal, the new normal. The numbers went back up. And what we're seeing now is the Irish government, prioritizing one sector of society over the other, prioritizing the opening of schools.
Your home is meant to be home. They can't stop us from having someone call to your home.
Well, they have. And unfortunately that is the way that it is. And there's even talk on greater penalties brought in now. So for instance, if you had 5 people in your home and somebody spotted that and they decided to contact the Gardaí, then you could be faced with a fine because people visited your home. So unfortunately, household bans in Ireland have been banned, and that's the way it is. Unfortunately, and this is how I do feel it's unfortunate, that is how the Irish government feel we all should be tackling COVID-19, by allowing multiple students to be in the one room from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. as long as they wear a mask, wash their hands and keep social distance. The government don't see an issue with that, and they prioritise opening those schools. However, a church has to remain closed. Even though there has been no COVID-19 cases linked to the church, even though a church is a far bigger building than one classroom, and there's plenty of space to keep social distance. So a church has to remain closed. Okay, I do understand that a school and education is far more essential than going to mass and saying a prayer. I mean, I'm not the most religious person in the world, but one thing I've always said is, you don't find God in the church. You don't find him in the Bible. You don't have to go to church to be religious. I will say that, but it's still, my point still stands in terms of there's plenty of...
Good point.
Thank you. There's plenty of room in a church. Plenty of room to keep social distance. They have sanitizers. You can wear a mask. There's no reason why a church can't be opened. Absolutely no reason. And I'm not the only person that's saying this. Multiple people across Ireland have been pointing this out. They're actually trying to get Micheál Martin or Taoiseach to actually respond to that situation. Churches being closed at this time. But again, it comes down to prioritising. The government are prioritising one group of people over the other group, one situation over the other. And I know I've been dragging out this point. I'm like a dog with a bone with this point, but that's what I do, unfortunately. I apologise. But I just want to focus again on what I'm trying to say there about, like, the Irish government are allowing multiple people to be in the one room together from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m, secondary school students. And as long as they wear masks and wash their hands and keep social distance, the Irish government are okay with that, and they prioritise that because they're prioritising education over one person visiting a household. The Irish government have no time. They have no time, no tolerance right now. It's banned right now if one person visits a household, even though they could be wearing a mask and washing their hands. Am I a teacher? No. No, I am not a teacher. I am a man with an opinion. That's what I am. And you spelled hamster wrong as well. So maybe I am a teacher. Yeah, I just can't wrap my head around how the Irish government can ban one person from visiting a household, even if that one person is keeping themselves safe and their friends and family safe by wearing a mask and washing their hands and keeping social distance. How that can be banned, but you know, an entire school with multiple classrooms with multiple students can spend.
Talk well.
Thank you. Can spend the whole day from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. together. You know, I don't understand that. I don't understand how the Irish government can tolerate that. And also considering that prior to the end of August, September, every Irish student was getting their education at home, online, and at the end of the day, it was difficult, it was upsetting, it was stressful, but it worked. It worked. People were starting to get used to it. The numbers were going down. The number of COVID-19 cases were going down, and then along come the government and say schools can reopen now. And it didn't take long for COVID-19 to reach the schools and for students to be infected with COVID-19, and therefore it didn't take long for the numbers to go through the roof. So I don't understand the Irish government's mentality. Again, they don't have a clear, distinctive strategy on how to combat and eradicate COVID-19 in Ireland. Some of the things they are doing make absolutely no sense. So again, at the end of the day, it comes down to either live your life normally as you did a year ago, along with COVID-19, using a bit of common sense, wear your mask, wash your hands.
Do you have family?
Keep your social distance. I do, yes. I do have family. What about you, hamster? Have you got plenty of hamsters running around your cage in your hamster wheel? So either we live our lives like normal along with COVID-19, or we have a complete lockdown, an utter complete lockdown where, again, every business, every school, everywhere's closed. We stay in our homes. We only leave when we get a bit of exercise or get our shopping, and have the numbers down to a very low level until we get a vaccine, and then we live our lives like normal. There shouldn't be an in-between. There shouldn't be an in-between response from the Irish government where schools are allowed to reopen, but one person can visit a household. And when you consider, like again, when you consider one person wearing a mask, keeping social distancing, visiting one house, that's banned. But multiple people in multiple classrooms in a big building, spending 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. together.
Yes, but do not see much of them.
Makes no sense. Ah, okay. That makes no sense to me. I'd like to get people's opinions on what I'm saying as well. If you'd like, you can let me know in the comment section below. That was a long key point, sorry. But again, the only thing you should be prioritising is the eradication of the COVID-19 virus. It should be prioritising, like, oh, we have to prioritise schools over social visits, and we have to prioritise like, you know, like working in this particular sector over this sector. Like again, the only priority for the Irish government should be the eradication of COVID-19, because the virus has been here for a year. It's here, it's not going anywhere anytime soon until there's a vaccine. That's the priority, getting a vaccine. Because the Irish government's actions are not working. Again, yesterday in Ireland, the highest case of COVID-19 since all this started. 1,012, I think, new confirmed cases of COVID-19. Their strategy is not working. Okay, it's not working. The wearing of masks, the sanitizing of hands, the social distance, the half-arse lockdowns, you know, opening schools, but we've been told to close our door to one person. It's not working. It's not working. Because it won't work. It can't work. Because the virus is here and it's here to stay until there's a vaccine. Again, the numbers will go up and down like a whore's knickers. That's not going to change until there's a vaccine. So the response shouldn't be half-arsed. The response shouldn't be, okay, we'll close schools, or no, we open schools, but we'll ban household visits. Like, you know, and pubs as well that serve food. You see, I know that some people will be upset with my opinions and my views. I know that maybe teachers, parents and students will be very upset with me saying maybe you should close schools. Maybe they're upset with me having an opinion about, you know, schools being opened. Maybe what I say, okay, upsets people. But what is more upsetting? What is more upsetting? Having to homeschool your child, adapting to that environment, adapting to that work, basically, adapting to being a teacher to your child at home. The teacher themselves, you know, adapting to Zoom. Would that be more upsetting than having to see
I don't think the Irish government know what they're doing.
Well, there's no thought about that. I think that's pretty much fact. You know, we could talk about the Irish government in many fucking ways. Their handling of COVID-19 is only one of those things we can talk about in terms of the Irish government. So I agree with you 100% there. But what is more upsetting? Wouldn't it be more upsetting to be looking back at your family member or friend lying in intensive care with COVID-19? Wouldn't that be more upsetting? And then, like, because it wouldn't be necessarily like the parents' fault for bringing their child to school. It's nobody's fault, really, other than COVID-19. But imagine that parent thinking in the back of their mind as their child or family member or friend is lying in intensive care, thinking, maybe I should have just homeschooled my child. Maybe if I didn't bring my child into a crowded classroom from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m, he or she wouldn't have picked up COVID-19. Wouldn't that be more upsetting? Wouldn't that be more upsetting than my views and opinions on schools being reopened? Like, I just think that in terms of eradicating COVID-19, and at the very least suppressing the virus, keeping the numbers down, I just feel that it makes absolutely no sense that it seems to be sociably okay to keep multiple people in one room from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. but not be okay. No, I'm not saying the country is actually okay with the household bans, because actually a lot of people are very annoyed with that. So I would say how the Irish government can be okay with household bans, where one person can visit a household, even though they're practicing the exact same safety practices as the student that's in secondary school from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m, wearing a mask, keeping social distance, washing their hands. Now, I'm not going to go into it because, quite simply, I am not in the mood. I don't have the energy, I don't have the patience, I don't have the mental capacity right now to go into it, but I've heard a story. A story about students in a secondary school and what they got up to. And all I'll say is there was zero social distance. I doubt very much there was a mask worn. And I doubt very much there was personal hygiene practiced. Now, this kind of goes on in every school, across every county, pretty much across every country in the world. The reason I wanted to, and again, I'm not going to go into it, but the reason I brought it up is because this is what the government are allowing to happen right now. And when you consider that COVID-19 has reached schools and students have been infected, then my point is a very concerning point and a very serious point that people need to listen to. Especially considering that the Irish government are saying it's okay for secondary schools to be open and to spend that amount of time together. But then one person, can visit a household. So ask yourself the question, what's more upsetting? Johnny saying maybe we should close schools and go back to homeschooling, or your child, family member or friend lying in intensive care because they got COVID-19 as a result of spending 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. in a room together? What's more upsetting? Like, I've actually had enough of COVID-19. I am at my wit's end with COVID-19. And I've reached a point where I have just said, enough is enough. It's here. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. Just deal with it. Get on with it. Make a concrete decision, government. And we all have a part to play as well. It's in our hands as well. And in terms of how we want to deal with it. I just think that I'm tired of the bullshit. Like, I rely on social activity. I rely on my friends, and family as well. But like, the way that the government handle COVID-19 right now, the way they handle restrictions and lockdowns right now, prevents me from...
Are your mama and daddy live?
Yes, they are. The way that the Irish government are handling COVID-19 right now prevents me from effectively spending time with my family and friends. Like, effectively. It's not the same. That's hard to deal with, and it makes it even harder to deal with when I realise that these things make no sense. Like, I hear people say all the time on the television and radio, and just people saying, but you look, we have to do it because We're all in it together. We all have to keep safe. That's fine, but it doesn't make it. It doesn't make it feel. It still doesn't make a bit of sense. When I realise that right now, as I speak, there are students, 10, 15 students in a classroom from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. But I can't, and yes, they're practicing all the safety guidelines. They're wearing masks, they're washing their hands, they're keeping social distance. I get that. But why can't I practice those safety measures when I'm visiting my family?
That's good. Do you go see them?
And my friends? How can I? How can I? So sorry, the answer to that question is I can't right now. I can't because of these restrictions that make no sense. If your question was, do you go up to school? Do you spend time with your school friends? If I was a student right now, if I was a secondary school student right now, and that was your question, my answer would be yes. I go to school. I sit in a classroom from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. with multiple people. I wear my mask though. I wash my hands though. I keep my social distance though, and I spend time with my school friends. That would be my answer to you. But your question isn't that though, is it? Your question is, do I get to see my family and friends? And the answer is no, I don't. Not anymore anyway, because of their restrictions. Like, it makes no sense. Like, I get where people are coming from. Look, we've got to keep ourselves safe. But it makes no sense. Because why can't I visit my family and friends?
So do you phone them?
Do I? Here, look, you're cutting yourself if you don't think I know who you are, hamster, and I'm not going into it again. I'm not going down that road again. I don't know what it is about you. I don't know why you do it. Yeah, but I know it's you. You know it's you. Yeah, and you said to me I need help. Yeah? Yet you're the person creating fake YouTube accounts, coming onto my channel, asking me questions about, is your mum and dad alive? Do you go see them? And do you phone them? Like, I know it's you. I'm not in the mood to be going down that road again. And I'm telling you one thing, yeah? The only offence that happened... Yeah, the only offence that happened, right? Seeing as I know it's you now, and you know, seeing as you've been called out now, yeah? The only offence that happened on that Monday, yeah, was you acting like a child and getting on my nerves. When I clearly knew that it was you creating a fake YouTube account. You were annoying me to the point where you pissed me off. So you have to take as good as you give.
Chill out.
That's my advice to you. I'm perfectly chill. I'm perfectly chill. You don't like what I have to say because it's the truth. Yeah? You're telling me I should get help, but you're the one creating fake YouTube accounts like hamsters. Coming onto my YouTube channel asking me questions about, do I see my family? Do I phone them? And you have the nerve then to say to me I need help. Like, seriously, like. No, I'm not going into it. And I'm perfectly chill. Anyway, that's that now. That's that. I'm not going any further into it. But seeing as you asked that question about visiting family and friends, I can't visit you right now, properly anyway at least, because of how the Irish government...
As far as I know, you don't own YouTube, boy.
No. As far as I know, I also don't. Yeah, I don't own YouTube. Never said I did. I don't see why me owning YouTube has anything to do with you spending your days creating fake YouTube accounts, going onto my channel, pretending to be a hamster. Spelled wrongly, may I add. But no, I don't own YouTube. Never said I did. But I can't visit you properly because of how the Irish government are responding to COVID-19 with their half-arsed responses, their half-arsed lockdowns. I can't spend as much time as I want with you wearing a mask, keeping my social distance, washing my hands. I can't do that. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. It's not allowed to keep us all safe and to protect us from COVID-19 and to suppress COVID-19. That's what the Irish government say. But they also say that it's okay if I was a student, a secondary school student, to be surrounded by people from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. That's okay, but me visiting you is not okay. So no, I can't visit you, at least not properly anyway. And as far as my friends are concerned, I also can't visit my friends.
Yes, open world out there, Johnny.
I don't know if you're aware of the COVID-19 restrictions, but it's actually not allowed. I actually can't. I wish I could. But the way things are going right now, if I was seen going into a house, there'd probably be a guard saying, hey, you know, you're not adhering to the COVID-19 guidelines. You know, you've been fined, you know, go home right now. Don't know if you're aware of the restrictions, but those are the restrictions. Household visits are banned. They were banned from midnight of last night, I believe.
We can meet outside.
I know we can meet outside, but that's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is if secondary school students are allowed, and by the way, I'm not bashing secondary school students, so I make that point. It just annoys me that the Irish government seem to think that it's okay for, you know, a classroom full of people to be together from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And they're okay with it because they're wearing masks and keeping social distance and washing their hands. But I can't, as one person, I can't spend time, you know, in someone's house, even though I'm wearing the mask and keeping my social distance and washing my hands. And look, I'm not going to go into this thing about, like, you know, visiting, you know, Jesus Christ, like, I'm still annoyed with you, to be honest with you. You know, I'm still annoyed with you. You know, because, you know, you annoyed me that day. You came onto my channel pretending to be somebody, and then clearly knew that it was you, and I called you out on it. You know, and then you tells me to go and fuck off. You know? So
the point I am making is we can meet outside.
Yeah, another point you're making, but I kind of don't want to see somebody right now who's supposed to be my dad who told me to fuck off. You know, I got into a big hissy fit because I called you out. Because I knew that I was you on my YouTube channel, pretending to be somebody that you weren't, and then you took offence to something that I wasn't even. That you took offence to something, which you got completely wrong. No, I said I'm not going to go into it, yeah. But don't tell somebody to fuck off and expect them to forget about it and be all normal about it. Okay, so I'm not going to go into it. But I'm still annoyed. So back to COVID-19. It's been almost a year now since COVID-19 reached Ireland, and nothing has significantly improved. In fact, yesterday the numbers were through the roof. So it is clear to me that the only thing that the Irish government should be doing.
You were taking the piss of my woman. No one does that, no one.
Oh, so God love you. No one takes the piss of my woman. No one. What? Listen to yourself. Well, first of all, I wasn't even talking about her. I was talking about you. I was pretending that I couldn't speak English and I couldn't understand you. If you took that as me offending her, that's your issue. not mine. But I told you once, in fact I told you twice, and I'm going to say it again here. I was not talking about your woman, yeah? No one talks to one woman. I mean, listen to yourself. You sound like a teenager, for God's sake. You come off the stage. Well, yeah, and look, you told me to fuck off. At the end of the day, you know, that's not going to be forgotten about, you know, just like that. But I told you that I wasn't going to go into it. You still bring it up. No, I hate to break it to you, okay? I hate to break it to you, but the world doesn't centre around you, yeah? So I'm not going to spend my whole day worrying about you, you know, and what you said and what I didn't say, and yada yada yada, okay? I'm here talking about Covid-19, yeah? I'm here to be having an argument with you. So, until the Irish...
Go and find a woman, boy, and get a life.
Go and find a woman and get a life. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself, boy. Get a life. You want to say that? You want to tell me that, is it? Okay, so you want to go there. Oh, you've got your woman now. Yeah, you've got your woman now, yeah? Everything is peachy for you, isn't it? Everything is so peachy for you. You got your woman, living it up in Dublin, living your life like a teenager. That's great. That's great, yeah? That's great for you. I need help, do I? Yeah. Yeah, I need help. Yeah. Look, I'm not even going to go there. But you know exactly what I'm going to say to you. Okay? I don't even need to say it. Oh, my word is game world. Is it really? You know what? You're not worth it. You're not worth the response. You're not worth the fucking response, yeah? You're not even worth the response. I'm not even going to respond to you because you're just not worth it. Adios. Sorry about that to anybody who may be watching. I got an incoming call as well, so I'm going to have to wrap up my live stream. So yeah, I pretty much said everything about living with COVID-19 in Ireland. I'll very quickly go over the key points again, and I will leave it at that then. So, look, it's been almost a year since COVID-19 reached Ireland. It is here, and it is here to stay. It will not go away. It will not be eradicated until a vaccine has been developed. We all have to accept that. And we also have to accept that time is not going to get rid of COVID-19. Lockdowns are not going to get rid of COVID-19. You know, keeping social distance, wearing masks, washing hands is not going to get rid of COVID-19. The only thing that's going to get rid of COVID-19 is a vaccine. And that is something to realise when they're making these decisions.
You are bullying your man.
Fun. I'm bullying so he basically has signed into another account. Here, you're living. You don't know who you are, man. You don't know where you came from, man. You're living it up there, like thinking you can fucking look down on me because I make a few mistakes here and there. Yeah? And you think you can stand on your pedestal and look down on me. Yeah? And call me out and judge me. You don't have a fucking clue, man. Do you? You're living a great life now, aren't you? You've got a woman now. And you brought Ma'am into this, yeah? What about the time where you strangled Ma'am? Yeah, we're live on YouTube, yeah. Let's talk about that, shall we? What about the time that you put your hands on Ma'am? Strangled her. And I looked on and cried. Told you to stop, but you didn't, did ya? Yeah, so you like to think that everything is great for you right now, yeah? But you're a woman, up in Dublin, forgetting about your past, thinking you got a great life, yeah? Telling me I should get help. And treating me like shit.
If I done that, she would not be here.
But then that's how he responds to it. That's actually how he responds to it. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? So do you know what you can do now? You can go fuck yourself. That's what you can do. Okay, that's the end of the live stream. Thanks for those who watched. Made my point. It's all there. Okay, bye. Alright, man. I was just making my